Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Today we have a really interesting topic to kick us off. It has to do with a bunch of research that's come out recently, and the TLDR of it is that AI use in schools shows absolutely no sign of slowing down, according to new research from the Pew Research Center. In a follow-up to a survey conducted at the end of 2023, Pew asked 1,400 American teens whether they were using ChatGPT for homework or school assignments. 26% said they had, twice the number from the previous year. I find it very hard to believe that only 26% of teens are using ChatGPT for homework, regardless of what the average school policy is. But here we are. I think if you're just looking for trend lines, the Pew Research Center has had double the number of people admit using it than they did last year. Now, the 2023 survey had asked teens whether they had heard of ChatGPT, with about 2/3 saying they had, 67%. Now, 78% of students have heard of ChatGPT, and the number who have heard a lot about it is up by 50%. A big portion of the Pew survey is attempting to track attitudes towards AI use in schools as it changes. 69% of teens believe it's acceptable to use AI to research new topics, which is up from 54% last year. 39% believe it's okay to ask AI to solve math problems, up from 29% last year. Unless those folks have access to O1 or O3, which no one has access to, really, I might be a little concerned for them. Of course, essay writing remains the biggest taboo, with only 20% believing it's acceptable this year, up from 18% in 2023. To me, that's a real the kids are all right statistic. There are obviously questions with just handing over to ChatGPT the entirety of your writing, so I think that that's a positive number. There is definitely still room for clearer guidance on AI use. The fact that 15% of students are not sure whether it's okay to use AI to research new topics suggests that we should be doing better in schools, clarifying which use cases are and are not okay. One of the other interesting changes between 2023 and 2024 was that in the 2023 survey, there was a stark demographic divide in AI use. Household income was the main determinant of whether students had heard of ChatGPT, and Black students were less likely to be using the technology than white and Hispanic students. Now, in 2024, Black and Hispanic students are far more likely to say that they have used AI for their schoolwork than white students are, and household income is a smaller factor. One person who's been spending a lot of time following the use of AI in schools is Wharton professor Ethan Mollick. This week, he shared a study conducted by the World Bank on the use of AI as a supplemental tutor in Nigeria. Students were given access to GPT-4 for a 6-week intervention focused on English skills. Teachers provided guidance and initial prompting assistance throughout. The big headliner statistic is that the students who worked with an AI tutor saw improved test results equivalent to 2 years of typical learning. The World Bank compared these results to their entire database of educational intervention studies and found that it was in the top 20% for effectiveness, even though it was only a 6-week program. What's more, the program benefited all students, not just the high achievers. Girls, who were initially lagging behind boys in test performance, benefited disproportionately, allowing them to catch up. What's more, benefits scaled with days of attendance and didn't taper off, suggesting that an even longer program would yield further benefits. Now, Ethan's post on this went wildly viral, but not for all the good reasons. As Ethan pointed out, the fact that this is teacher-led is likely very important. We know that independent use of AI as a tutor can harm learning in some circumstances because it gives the illusion of learning. That said, by and large, the conclusion was similar. John Domingue writes, "It's now obvious that Gen AI will completely transform teaching and learning." Grimes tweeted and said, "I think we might be about to enter an educational renaissance." OpenAI's Rune said, "Excitement over AI education is cool but tinged with sadness. Generally, whatever skills it's capable of teaching, it can probably also execute for the economy." I have a very different opinion on that. Maybe we'll get into it at some point. But in any case, it does feel like a big deal and a really interesting study. And I expect that we're going to hear a lot more about AI in education in 2025. Now, moving over to the industry side of things, after a fresh round of controversy, beleaguered Apple, at least when it comes to AI, is pulling the plug on AI notification summaries for news services. The AI notification summaries were one of the main features of the lackluster rollout of Apple Intelligence last year. The idea was that Apple Intelligence could aggregate a brief overview of multiple text messages or app notifications. Users quickly began mocking the feature, claiming it was stiff and wooden at best and horribly inaccurate at worst. These issues hit a whole new level when applied to news stories. A few weeks ago, the BBC complained their reporting was being completely mangled by the AI, leading to misleading headlines. In one prime example, Apple Intelligence misrepresented the news by stating that accused murderer Luigi Mangione had shot himself. Apple said they were aware of the issue and would make changes to clarify when AI summaries were being used. The company now, though, has gone one step further and completely disabled the feature for news sources and some other apps. AI summaries will also now be displayed in italics, and Apple will inform users when enabling the feature that it's still in beta and could be misleading. Apple is truly adrift at sea right now when it comes to AI. Meanwhile, ex-OpenAI CTO Mira Murati has been making moves. Her mystery AI startup has made its first hires. When she left the company back in September, her only comment about what would come next was that she wanted to, quote, create the time and space to do my own exploration. A month later, we started to hear rumors that she was courting VCs to raise a $100 million seed round for a new startup. Reporting said the company would build AI products based on proprietary models, which tells us exactly nothing. Now, we still don't know much about what Muradi's startup will do, but rumors are emerging that they're staffing it up with high-profile AI researchers. Wired reports that Jonathan Lockman, previously head of special projects at OpenAI, has joined the company. Their sources say that around 10 researchers and engineers have now been poached from labs including OpenAI, Character AI, and Google DeepMind. However, those sources also noted that the company still doesn't have a name nor a clear product direction. We should start a community poll, maybe a bingo board like Cabin in the Woods. My vote, it's got to be something to do with agents, right? Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.